4, 3, 2. Welcome to Algebra 1, Chapter 5, Section 5, Standard Form. Moment to review some vocabulary. Line Z is this line that goes up and down, and that is a what kind of line? Yes, that is a vertical line. Line P, side to side. Line P is a, horizontal line. A line with slope 0 is, well, you gotta remember slope is rise over run. So to have a 0, you'd have to have 0 on top with some number on the bottom. Well, which of these lines, Z or P, has a slope of 0, which means it has a rise of 0? Well, the rise of 0 would be this line right here. So it's a horizontal line. Now, if it has an undefined slope, that means it would be some number over 0, because when you divide by 0, it's undefined. So which line has a run of 0? That would be line Z. That's a vertical line. Vocabulary. Our word is standard. Standard is something that is well known and widely used. So in gymnastics, judges use a set of standards to award a score. Most English words have a standardized pronunciation. Many states use standardized tests to assess their students' performance. So the question is, which linear equation is in standard form? We know slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So A is in slope-intercept form, and B is in slope-intercept form. So the linear equation that is in standard form is C. D is in point-slope form. What is standard form? Well, standard form is when your equation is in the format of ax plus by equals c. In this format, a, b, and c are integers, so they're your numbers. And the reason this is used is because x and y intercepts are easy to find. So let's look at this example. We need to put it into standard form. So we want it to look like ax plus by equals c. We put it in standard form. So if we want ax first, right now our ax is on the right-hand side, and we need to move it to the left. Let's do that by adding the 2x term to both sides. So I now have 2x plus y. Those cannot be combined because they have different variables, so they're not like terms. This canceled, so I'm left with 7. So 2x plus y equals 7. Is that in the ax plus by equals c form? Ax plus 1y, by equals 7? It is, so this is in standard form. To remind you that standard form is still the equation for a line. It's just a different format than y equals mx plus b. So right now you know two formats. Y equals mx plus b and ax plus by equals c. Now this b means y-intercept. This b does not. That's why that's capitalized. But they are both equations of the line. So let's try example 2. We want to put this equation in standard form. Well, to do that, we must first distribute the 1/2 throughout the parentheses. So I get y minus 5 equals 1/2 x, and then 1/2 times 4 is 2. Now, remember our equation, so I need to have the x term on the left-hand side. So I'm going to subtract the x term from both sides. So I now have minus 1/2 x plus y minus 5 equals 2. I must have my constant. on the right-hand side. So this 5 is a constant, so I'm going to move that. So I'm going to have 1/2 x plus y equals 7. That is in standard form. I have ax plus by equals c. What is the x and y intercepts? Well, the x-intercept is where x has a value and y equals 0. It's where it crosses the x-axis. The y-intercept is where x equals 0 and y has some value, and it's where it crosses the y-axis. Using standard form makes it easy, or at least easier, to find these values. To find the x-intercept, you set the y value to 0. And then the only variable remaining is x, and you solve for that to find your x value. So you can determine where it lies on this line. For the y-intercept, you set the x value to 0, solve for the y value, and that will tell you where it lies on this line. If we're looking at the standard form, 5x minus 6y equals 60, and we want to graph that, we need to find the x and y intercepts. So let's find the x-intercept first. And remember, that's some value x where y equals 0. So we're going to let y equal 0. Looking at my equation, I'm going to let y equal 0. 6 times 0 is 0. So I have 5x equals 60. Now I'm going to take that 5x and divide both sides by 5. So I have x equals, oh, that's silly me, x equals 12. So my point will be 12, 0. And that's where it will cross the x-axis. To find the y-intercept, I'm going to let my x value equal 0, because remember, I'm finding the value 0y. So x must equal 0. 5 times 0 is 0. So I have negative 6y equals 60. Divide both sides by negative 6. So y equals negative 10. So my point will be 0, negative 10. Now I'd like you to pause the video and I'd like you to try problems 13 and 14 on this page. And then restart the video and see how you did. So let's see how you did. For the first one, to find the x-intercept, that's where the point will be some number, 0, was 0 in for y, so I made y equals 0. So I have 3x equals 12. Divide both sides by 3. And so x equals 4. So my point will be 4, 0. I could plot that point to find my line. My second part of the equation, same problem, second part, I need my x to equal 0, so I can find the point 0y. Put 0 in for x, so I have 8y equals 12. Divide both sides by 8, so I get y equals 12/8, which can be reduced to 3/2 or 1.5. So I have the point 0, 1.5. How'd you do? I hope you will see that solving for the x and y intercept will make it easier to graph lines. Using 2x plus 5y equals 20, I'm going to put 0 in for y and solve for x. So that gives me my x of 10. So I have the point 10, 0. And then I'm going to put 0 in for x to find the y-intercept, and I realize that my y equals 4. So my x-intercept of 2x plus 5y is 10, and my y-intercept is 4. What this means is it crosses the x-axis at 10. That's my x-intercept. That's point 10, 0. And it crosses the y-intercept at 4. That's the point 0, 4. So I can use that to draw a line. Forgive my non-straight line with two intercepts. Occasionally we'll have equations that look a bit different, as in this case when x equals 4. Well, when x equals 4, the value of x, no matter what y is, the value of x will be 4. So you may have 4, 0 will be your x-intercept. But other points are anything you want as long as the value of x is 4. So any value up and down this vertical line, because on this line, x has the value of 4. And as you can see, that's a vertical line. The graph of each of these equations. Well, when x equals 3, that means that x is going to have a value of 3 no matter what y is. So you'll have points like the x-intercept, 3, 0. But you also have points like 3, 4, and 3, negative 4, because your x is going to stay constant. It's equal to a constant of 3. So all of your values will remain on this vertical line. When your y value is equal to 2, no matter what your x is, your y value will be 2. So your y-intercept will be 0, 2. But no matter what your x is, your y value will remain 2, which means that creates a constant line going sideways, which of course is a horizontal line. So when y equals a constant, your line becomes horizontal. When x equals a constant, your line is vertical. We are now to the part of the lesson where you tell me what you understand. Take a moment, fill this out, and make sure you ask any questions you have in class tomorrow.